All right, all right, all right. Good evening, Powerhouse. I cannot believe we're already in freaking April. This is insane. But guys, I'm excited for this evening. We've got a very special guest that's going to blow our minds when it comes to a brand new resource. But before we kind of get into that, guys, like I said, it's the first quarter is in the books. And let me ask you though, have you set up your time to go over your first quarter goal planning with your direct coach? This is not something to skimp on. How can you move forward into next quarter if you have not looked at the previous first January, February, and March, right? Let's see here. Your input that you've had, have you put in the input that has given you the output that you desired over the last 3 months? Yes or no? That's a question to ask yourself, right? Did you plan to win or did you fail to plan over the last 3 months, right? It's done with, it's over with, that's totally fine. But the next 3 months, you got to plan to win. Coming up, guys, we've got a meet and greet. That's going to be an in-person meet and greet in Virginia Beach. That's going to be April 19th. Guys, get your folks there. It's a prime location to build, to get those folks rolling in. So meet me there April 19th. And then the 20th, we have our Powerhouse Sales Blitz. That e-vite has been sent out. If you have not put in your e-vite, go ahead and get that done. That way I can get an idea if he's going to be there. And then we have the Builders Boot Camp for AG2, and that's going to be April 28th. That's already be marked on your calendar if you are an AG2 or above. I'm excited for that. But guys, seriously, let's rock and roll. I want to introduce you to Nate Sahlman. He is wise beyond measure for him to be able to rock out an app like Knock It app. But before we kind of get into that, I want you to get to know him. I want to kind of just immerse you into kind of his background, his story, how he ended up with NASB, and then we'll kind of dive into the meat and potatoes of the Knock It app. So Nate, we are excited to have you here talking to the Powerhouse team. I think there's a few dream makers on as well. And so, yeah, it's going to be amazing over the next 30, 45 minutes, hopefully. But tell us about you. What's your background? How did you find NASB?
Sure. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on your call. Appreciate everyone putting aside a little time to kind of hear about me and what I kind of got going on with the Knock It Pro app. But about me. So humble beginnings, found out really quickly that like school wasn't for me. I just had ADHD really bad, didn't pay attention. I felt like I was in the principal's office all the time. And so I learned really quickly that college was probably not going to be the route. And with growing in an area where college was like the only thing that you could do after, it was one of those things that I was like, all right, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll go to community college. Ended up doing a semester there, and I was like, this is just for the birds. It's not me. And so had to try to figure out what to do from there. Spent most of my time in the restaurant industry. It was my first job when I was 14 years old. Did bartending, serving, managing, until I moved down to North Carolina about 12 years ago. Originally grew up in New Jersey. Crazy turn of events, became a police officer here in North Carolina. Did 3 years there, which led me, the only great thing about that job was it led me to my wife. We're been married now for quite some time. We got a 10-year-old girl and also a 6-year-old daughter as well. So full of ladies in the Sahlman household.
You're like my household.
Yes. And I swear they might as well be 30 years old now with all the technology and things of that nature. So, but fast forward a little bit after those 3 years, I really realized that law enforcement wasn't for me either. I enjoyed helping people a lot. However, the pay was atrocious. I was making more money part-time as a bartender, and really didn't know what I was going to do. My parents were like, hey, you worked so hard for this job. Why don't you just stick it out? You get a pension, paid for benefits, the works. And I had a buddy of mine who had messaged me, and we actually went to the police academy together. And ultimately, he convinced me to go into the car business in sales. I had never sold anything before in my entire life. All of my friends, all of my family were like, car sales? So you're going from a cop to like a car sales guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a smart idea. My girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife, but she believed, and she said, Nate, you can't make any less money. I think you'd do wonderful. We were living check to check. It was some of the worst financial times of my life. And we took a risk. I opened up 2 credit cards because it's a 100% commission job. Got in, did 2 months of training with no pay, and made $10,000 my first month.
Pause. You just said 2 months of training and no pay.
No pay.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. And people talk about going out in the field for their first week and they have the ability to earn while they learn, but 2 months, that's crazy. Okay. So tell us, how did you find NASB? What was lacking? Where did you go from car sales to NASB?
Yeah. So car sales, fast forward, became finance director, moved up as high as I possibly could go without being like someone's cousin or whoever. And it was an awful job. We were making a lot of money. I was making about $300,000 a year there, but I lived there at the dealership. And I kept meeting new people and everyone kept talking about insurance, life insurance, life insurance. And, you know, as we all know, it checks like every box you could possibly want. Right. And so I was very skeptic and I said, nah, I just don't believe it. Don't believe it to be true. That led me to finally talking to someone who was willing to show me deposits. I went to PHP, People Helping People, the network marketing side of our business, 0 leads. And I went from making 300K to about 45,000 my first 9 months in insurance. We lost about $80,000 of our life savings during those months in the insurance world. And you know, God has a pretty cool way of putting things together, because I ended up meeting Garrett Sherrill through a mutual friend. There was a girl, some of you might know her, I don't mind sharing her name. Her name's Ella Pendergrass. She was supposed to be like the next best female on the award shows and all sorts of stuff like that. Well, it turned out she rolled about $60,000 of debt, of bad business, to Sam Pittman. And through the grapevine, Garrett had found out that she was going to try to work for me over at PHP, sent a message over, was like, listen, man, I don't know you, but don't hire this chick. And I actually trained Ella in the car business. So it was kind of a shock to me to hear that she was so unethical with what she was got going on. But long story short, from there, I met Josh and Garrett out to lunch. Josh and I actually did Josh's finance paperwork when he bought his Lexus. So we both were like, I know you. And it all just kind of came together. But also first month in NASB, $10,000 in deposits my first month. So I haven't looked back ever since. It's been the biggest blessing to my family since starting here about 2.5 years.
Crazy though is like, you know, the biggest thing is having your head on a swivel, like being willing to do the best at where you're at. And then also it's having your head on the swivel where you're looking for those opportunities where they can find you, right? Through networking and knowing the right type of people. You know, so when you take a look at, you know, NASB, what was it that was different? What was it, you know, you had PHP background, that was not, you know, that tanked. What was it that was, okay, yeah, I met these really cool people, I can trust them, but what was it about us, our system, our platform, our resources that said, you know what, this is where I can actually grow?
Yeah. So if a lot of you don't know how PHP works, or like WFG, Primerica, it's network marketing for insurance ultimately. So 0 leads. So when I had spoken to Garrett and he's like, oh yeah, we got leads. I was like, wait, people that like actually want to buy insurance? I like this, because my entire days were spent recruiting, you know, in parking lots, in the mall and whatever, going to business networking events, just doing the same old MLM type stuff really. And then Garrett, I'm sure you guys have met Garrett, but he's just a very genuine guy. And I just felt a connection with him. I felt like he was being extremely honest. And then, you know, talking to a lot of other folks in the area of Charlotte here that were doing it at a high level. I'm a really competitive person. Anything I put my mind to, I've been able to succeed in, minus PHP. And I just felt like it was the right place to be. I did a ride along. Garrett wrote I think 2K that day. And I said, that's it. That was like all of it. Cause I was used to doing like IULs, infinite banking structures, stuff like that, where it's like multiple meetings. He was like, yeah, that was it. And I'm like, when do you get paid? He's like, me and my accountant, like 24 to 48 hours. I said, okay, let's go. Let's do it. And that was kind of how I got introduced to NASB.
Gotcha. I love that. let me ask you, you had some success, but what was your biggest setback or hurdle that you've had to overcome since being with NASB?
So I would say the work-life balance is probably one of the biggest things. I don't believe that there's really such thing, but being married and having two kids, I'm not just a NASB agent. I'm a father and a husband, and I'm very, very ambitious. And oftentimes I think that can be some of my downfall. So my wife's always been extremely supportive, but we never really sat down to kind of go over what our jointure goals were, and making sure they weren't just my goals, but they were goals that she could get behind too. And then kind of setting, I don't want to say boundaries, but like guidelines of like, hey, this is what I need to do to get here. And if you're okay with that, then that's the plan moving forward, but making sure that she has her input, as well as not me just saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a ton of money here. We're going to get all these fancy things, and not giving her the input. So I would say that's been a huge hurdle. And then building a business, right? Building a business, not just writing business, because I think that's the easy part, but it's almost like having two jobs. Our main job is to write business on our own personal pen, but then it's to train, mentor, and develop others. And I think one of the things that was my biggest downfall last year was I was like, okay, guys, I've shown you how it's done. I'm going to step out of the field for a bit, and do some part-time, maybe 2 or 3 days, because the overrides are good enough, book of business is good enough. We have things set up, and I was just going to recruit. So I spent a ton of time recruiting, and I watched my team's numbers go from here to, I was like, what kind of happened? So that was a huge thing that I had to realize, that, we need to lead from the front in all aspects. Your team watches you, and, if you're not out on those rainy days, neither are they. They're like, why should I be out? He's not even out. Right. So I would say those are the two biggest struggles that I've faced so far with NASB.
So did you get close to your first month of RVP this month? That's what I heard on the call.
I did. So we missed by 600 AP, but Garrett says as long as we go for it, he's gonna help me out. So, but yes.
There you go. I remember when I missed my first month. I took a week vacation, which I'm glad I took that vacation, but I took a week vacation with my family in Florida. And that's what sparked, me having a conversation with Craig Harvey about doing our 100-day challenge at the end of the year, which put us over the edge to actually hit RVP and created that momentum, and then into RVP too. So, well, we're rooting for you. Okay, let's see here. Your goals for this year. I want to know your goal for this year. I want you to tell the team what your goal is. And then for folks that are looking to stretch themselves, what strategies have you implemented, or any tips that you have for whether you're a builder, whether you're an agent, whether you're in your first 90 days? Give us 1 or 2 things that we can take away.
Okay. So first off, goal is to hit RVP, obviously next month. Leading into that, I've got a bet with Garrett to be hitting RVP 2 by the end of the year. So that's on the goal there. Obviously, we need to develop a few more leaders in our group. It's really me and one other guy who are kind of handling it all and recruiting. We've got a lot of writers, but not a whole lot of people who are wanting to build a business yet. So we do need to hire that third and fourth stud or studette, right? So those are the goals. As far as like things to kind of stretch yourself or try to work on, I would say schedule is the biggest thing. I'm a big believer in being organized, because without organization, it's just a little bit of chaos everywhere. That's with the recruiting side. That's with door knocking, and I always make sure that I have my big pillars. If I have this glass right here, right, and I put golf balls in it, there's probably only like 5 golf balls that would fit in this glass. And a lot of people would say it's full, right? However, if I then took pebbles and put it in, I could fit a little more. And then if I put sand, I put a little more, and then water, a little more. So I make sure that I have my big things that are non-negotiables in my glass, whether that is health, right? The gym, meditation, whatever it is that you guys like to do, because your mindset is like your biggest battle. This job is not hard, but on your mind, it's difficult, So I'll make sure that my time is really structured in a way that makes sense, because it's not about being busy. It's about being productive. So I would say if you're not super organized, get organized. That stems from everything about the type of leads that you buy, what you're buying, where you're buying, AP, hours that you're working, just being consistent, knowing exactly what your numbers are and being organized with your time and your business is going to help you go really far.
And coming from a blonde that's more bigger picture than detail oriented, I can attest. It's so crazy. Like you said, this business is not difficult. It's actually very simple. It's just if you're going to follow through and execute the simplicity of it. There's 5 pillars: leads, presentation, communication, schedule, and we have standards, attitude, and activity. There's not a lot. It's 5 things. Everything boils down to those 5 things. And whether you're building or whether you are selling, it comes down to activity and consistency. Those are the 2 things. And tracking that which you're doing. Can you track it and then measure that up to what the standard is, what the NASB standard is, what the Powerhouse team standard is, whatever your team standard is, right? Okay, now I digress. It's 8:17. We're right on time. Talk to us a little bit about your app. What spurred you into creating this app? I know you spent about a year, and I'm actually going to hand over the reins of the host to you. And if you need a screen share, whatever, you take it away. And guys, if you have questions about this Knock It app, this app is basically going to take, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be able to, you won't have to utilize Opt as much and Road Warrior. So you're kind of putting those things together. It's going to be a streamlined, very easy, awesome app. And so I will go ahead and quit talking about it because I am not the one that's so great at it. You are. Let me look over here and make you the host 1 second.
Perfect.
I can find you here.
Yep.
And 1 second. There you go.
Okay.
I can't even speak today. Talk to us about your app.
Okay. So, what made me look at this is when I first got started in insurance, we used Route for Me, and Road Warrior is a very popular circuit. And one of the first things that I noticed as I was buying leads was this is like not meant for insurance agents. This is for like delivery drivers, and obviously we are not a one-stop type of business. We need to repeatedly go back to these folks. And so as I was adding more and more leads, right? 40, 50 leads a week, your screen starts getting extremely cluttered. So either it's just a big blur of whatever, or, what else you're doing is you're trying to like say, how do I minimize it? So what I was doing for my first 6 months is I had a master route based off of county. And I noticed I was wasting a lot of time in between house knocks because I was like clicking one. I was like, they said nighttime only. These people said the weekend, been here like 8 times. These folks said that come back in a month. And so that all adds up, right? You take about a minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes per event, and it adds up throughout the day. So I was like, man, this really sucks. I don't even know where my new leads are. And then I switched to just doing a route where it was like just a week at a time, right? 50 leads, work it super hard, and then next, throw it out and start a new route. I think a lot of people are doing that. And what I noticed there was, oh man, I know that's a lead. I know that I've been there before and I didn't sell them. Where is that lead? And you try to figure out where it's at and you're like, well, not going to find it, and just move on to the next. So one of the most expensive things in our business is the investment of our leads. And so I was like, man, there's got to be something out there that does what we're looking for it to do. And it just turned out that there wasn't. So I got really blessed. And again, networking is everything. I met a gentleman who's, extremely wealthy. He does very well for himself. And his best friend from high school is a lead developer in Apple. He actually created the Apple Watch interface. So he knows technology really well. So we ended up going down this journey. And ultimately, we launched it about 3 weeks ago. We had 50 NASB agents test pilot prior, and the results were just through the roof as far as what people were doing. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay. One of the first things that you will realize is this is going to save you time. And even outside of just going from house to house, this is going to save you time just inputting stuff into either Route for Me or Road Warrior, right? The average agent we've seen is spending 30 minutes per week just typing in their lead, right? So let me share my screen with you here. Host a stable person. Let's see. Your view in here is different than mine. I'm trying to share my screen that says no participant sharing. Did you make me co-host or is full?
I made you host.
Okay. Preferences. There's normally like a security button that allows you to change everything here. I am not seeing it anywhere.
Here.
Do you see a security button on your side?
Hmm.
Yeah, it still says host disabled participant screen share, but I'm the host. So what's the problem? Let me see. You might have made me host on my phone and not my laptop. Hold on.
Maybe I did. Let's see here. I'm trying to see about
Setting.
making you the.
Hold on one second. We'll figure it out. Hold on. Let's see. Yes, you made my phone the.
Oh, okay. So I just need to make you. Is there another?
I got it. So make host. Okay. You are now the host. Yep. There's a security button. Share screen. Okay. Yay. So believe it or not, I'm actually not a technology person, like at all. I'm just the person that had the vision. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So one of the first things you're going to notice is that instead of having to have your leads all come through and type them in manually, you're going to have a system that you're going to go to platform.notgetpro.com. Majority of the time, it's going to ask you for a account verification, which is located on the app. That account verification is all you need to enter, which is really cool because also I can send leads to my agents as well. I know a lot of people buy agent leads for their agents. So you verify your account. Okay. Now it didn't do it for me because I've logged in multiple times, but the first thing that you're going to see is on the top is going to be log into opt, because you see import and you see opt. For everyone that's using opt leads, you're going to press opt import. And now you have your leads here. So as you can see, it looks kind of familiar to like when you go to your inventory, and all you have to do is click the people that you want, right? And press send leads to Knock It Pro. That's it. Just like that, your lead is in the app, and better yet, it has a copy of the PDF attached to it as well. So actually, I don't do that a whole lot. So let me go ahead and just import a couple of these. Let's just do Angela and Anne so I can find them later. And I'm going to do send to Knock It Pro. Done. So now Anne's in there. Okay. So that's how quickly it is. You can import 100 leads in 2 seconds, just like that. So you're going to save about 2 hours a month just in the importation of your leads alone. All right. So now I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you how the app works. Okay. Stop share. And I'm going to share my phone. Share screen. Start. Okay. So you should be able to see my phone screen now. And here's the Knock It Pro app. Okay. So right off the bat, you see these yellow dots, right? Which would normally be your leads. And this is what your Road Warrior or Route for Me would look like. It has your leads there. Now, the big difference is normally those routes would automatically route you, all the points that you have. Obviously, we know we can only work so far at a time. So one of the first things that you can do is you can actually circle the area that you'd like to work. Okay. It's automatically going to tell you have 35 leads in that area. Create new route. You can use your actual location, or you can decide on where you want to go. You just type the address in, either starting or stopping. Or if you want to end at a certain client, maybe Geraldine, we're going to end there. Just press the green flag checkered mark. And maybe I want to start at Christian. Okay, so you can change these up anything you want. You press calculate route and it takes all of 2 seconds. Boom. There's your route.
Love that. We know Geraldine is a sale.
Geraldine's always a sale. Love me, Miss Johnson's. So that's kind of just the first part, right? Now, imagine after you work your leads, you're starting to go to these people's houses more. Well, it would be nice, right, if you had all of your leads. This is every lead that I've purchased, okay? And I'm able to tell what I've done, who I've worked with based off of the label that I've created. These are customized labels for you to use. My particular labels are like door knock 1, door knock 2, door knock 3. Person said AM only, PM no only, Saturday call only, hot. But you're able to, it's been really cool to see actually all the different agents and how they are organizing their leads, because you could pick any icon you want. Let's do the baseball or softball, whatever that is. And you could put anything you want, right? So door knock, or maybe it was a neighbor knock, right? Put the description in and pick the color, purple, and now you have your own personalized label that you can create, okay? Now, all you have to do is go to your lead, right? Once it's in the route, and actually I'll do that route real quick again. Let's do this real fast. I'm gonna do only door knock new leads, and I'm gonna do door knock ones. So the goal of this is not to go to every single house. The goal is to be structured on where to go. So let's say, for instance, I was working the Charlotte area. I'm gonna circle the area that I want. Let's do create new route, calculate. Now here's my route, 1, 2, 3, 4. To alter the lead, all you gotta do is click it. And there you have your different labels. Door knock 1, door knock 2. They said nighttime only, whatever the case may be, and you press save. Okay. As you can see, it went away, because the reason it went away, because I only want to see my door knock ones and door knocks, or my new and door knock ones. All I have to do to get rid of that, though, is click this button here, reset. And now everybody is there. See? All of your leads are now here. So let's say, for instance, this is kind of like a perfect example right here. Let's do, this is how you make more money right here. Perfect. See how I have points, and for some reason, Zoom doesn't like sharing a screen, so it does lag. I promise you, there's no lag here. It does exactly what you want to do. But you see that yellow dot there, label for door knock 1, it says 6, and then you see 7, which is the star, okay? Well, normally, if you were just using Route for Me or Road Warrior, you wouldn't see those. You would just see the people that are in your route. But now we get to see the people who are there. Why wouldn't we? We are literally passing this orange dot right here. Mm-hmm. It's on the same street. Why wouldn't we just take a gander, right? Maybe there's someone home. I sold a deal last week. I bought that lead a year and a half ago. I've probably been to that house 6 or 7 times. And it just so happened that there was a different car in the driveway. I stopped in and she was like, "You're lucky. I filled that card out. I haven't been able to talk to anybody because I worked 2 jobs. It just so happened I forgot my lunch today."
Wow.
Right. That was a $900 AP app. Really easy. Just so happened I was there. Right. So you have that there. Same thing as you're kind of driving along. You be the decision maker what you want to do. Do you want to stop at this one here because it's kind of on the way to number 7? It's up to you. But that's how people are making more money. They're just optimizing this to allow them to see all of the investment that they've made over the last 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. So no matter what, you can work it any way you want. Now, in North Carolina, you guys are in North Carolina, aren't you? Wilmington, I think it is, right?
Yeah, well, we're everywhere, but
all over. Well, here in Charlotte, it was disgusting out on Friday and Saturday, raining, cold. I don't know about y'all, but I do not like door knocking in the pouring rain. A little mist is okay. But what I ended up doing was just going here. Ooh. It kicked me out. I got to share my screen again. Share screen, start broadcast.
Some good stuff.
So what I did was, I'm not knocking in the rain, but all of these people that said, you know what, Nate, call me. Here are all the folks that said to call.
Love that.
Okay. Maybe you went to the house and they moved, but there's a phone number there. Maybe it's a gated community. All right. Also, it is daylight savings time, money hours, as we call it over here in the Sherrill region. So what I need to do is I need to be specific and intentional with my time and not just go to anybody. I need to go to the people that said, Nate, my wife gets home at 6 o'clock and we're not doing it unless we're both together. Boom. There are all my door knocks for the night. Again, circle the area that I want to work, and boom, you have the route. Okay.
So you're telling me that if I just want to call everybody, I could literally put a route on the folks that I'm calling and then boom, boom, boom. Super simple like that. No matter if I love to door knock or if I love to be on the phone, because we want to do it all over here. I love that. To me, that's amazing.
So you're able to do that. You're also able to call as long as the phone number was attached to the lead information. You're able to click it right from there. You don't have to go searching for the actual phone number. All you have to do is, like I said, Zoom does not like you screen sharing with moving targets here. All you have to do is click the lead and you can call or you can send a text message directly from here. Okay, or send a text. Now, remember I said I like to be organized. Well, I'm pretty organized, but I'm not perfect. And so a lot of times when I would, let's say Andrew Gibson here, he's like, Nate, it's Monday. I really need you to come back on Wednesday. Just not feeling very well. Give me a couple days to come back. And I actually believe Andrew's not BSing me. Well, I would normally just set a Google notification in my calendar. Come back on Wednesday, see Andrew. And that works. However, we all know we get busy. We get in that huge house that has us in there all day long, or something comes up and we're just got tunnel vision. Well, right here, you can create your task, right? Appointment. You set the date, Wednesday at 12, or Wednesday the 12th, and he wants you there at 10 a.m. Okay. You're going to save it. You press save. Now you can see at the bottom, it says never daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. I use yearly for people that I close deals with. So birthdays, so I'll always get a notification when it's their birthday. I'll always get policy reviews. I love that for policy reviews. But if not, you just do never, you click save, you go to tasks, and now Wednesday, there's my appointment, Andrew Gibson. Now here's what's even better, okay? Again, you could do that with the Google Calendar, but Google doesn't remind you the things that you've missed. So here's my incomplete folder. I might have forgotten to go. Well, now it's a reminder of the tasks that I forgot to do. Okay, so we love the task portion. We also I don't know about you guys, but I do have some agents that are like, Nate, I like seeing all the old people in the beginning of the day. They're more likely home. So if you're inputting the ages, now you have whatever age range you want, 68, 65, whatever it is that you want to do. You can put that on, you apply it, and now here are all the people that are over the age that you're looking for right off the bat. Okay. So this is really popular, a lot of things. Also, this app, again, designed by us, for us, that was actually a request of 3 of the beta testing agents. They were like, man, I'd love if we could separate it by age. We put that in there. Your feedback is important to us because we want this to be the go-to app for NASB and for all the final expense, really. But we are always interested in your feedback and making this better. We have a bunch of changes right now that we're in the process of doing because we've gotten requests for certain things. What's great is that there's not a middleman, right? It's not like you have to go through 50 people to get something approved. I say they do. So that's really great too. Anyone do neighbor knocks?
Me.
Neighbor knocks?
I
Okay.
love a neighbor knock.
Good. Well, then what you need to do is hold down the button right in that house there, and boom, there's their address. So now their address is there. You type in their name for a lead and you label it what you want. I have agents that are doing this for like data leads. They just import like a ton of data leads. And now they have that there. And then let me go to that Ann lady, because I said I imported her. Let's go to Ann. Where was Miss Ann? Oh, I got a lot of Anns. Darn. I don't remember what her last name was. Oh, duh. I'm stupid. It's a new lead. So there's the green lead. Miss Ann. So Ann Harrelson. Okay. This is an awesome part that you're going to love as well. Click PDF attachment and boom, there's the lead.
It's awesome.
Things to come. We're working on Integrity Lead Center right now as far as getting Integrity to push along things. We're also looking at how to airdrop this lead into Notability if you want to mark it up, whether it's old or you just want to get the year away. But there's a couple other things that are on here, but those are the main strategies there. I'll tell you, it's not just because I made it, but you will make more money. You're gonna make tons more money. We're seeing 1 to 2 leads in addition per week from leads that agents have bought in many months ago. Brandon wrote 5K his first week testing this out on old leads that he just threw away. Beverly Crane is killing it with there. Patrick Watkins. We have a lot. I mean, again, there was 50
Top
testers.
producers, Beverly Crane, top female producer, Brandon Dunn, sales manager of the year, top producer.
Sam Pittman said this was the best app he's ever seen as far as the routing, and he's been in door-to-door sales since we were children. But we're seeing about 1 to 2 extra apps a week. Let's just dummy that down. Let's just say you only get 1 extra sale per month. Well, at a new starting agent commission, I think I know our average AP on our side is $957 per app is the average AP we're getting. So if you were to get just 1 extra deal per week or per month, I'm sorry, that's 12 extra sales. At a starting comp, you're looking at about $6,000 extra in your pocket. And I'm sorry, I haven't been able to see any of these questions here.
I'm answering the questions as you're going. I'm just telling them to keep the questions coming.
Perfect.
Oh, I got a question for you.
Yes.
So, okay, for folks that are working the integrity leads, what's the best course of action?
So there's 2 things right now. We're hoping in the next week to 2 weeks, we'll have the ability where they can log into Integrity Lead Center like they can with Opt with this. Click the ones they want and it uploads just like here. As of right now, the best way is to create a CSV file, and we have a video to share with you how to upload those files to the app. So you're still not typing them in manually. You just have to create a CSV file first. I also am coming out with a video because I am extremely organized with my leads. So if you see me click one right here, see how it says Dwayne N66-29. That is like my little organization chart. Since I first started, I knew that keeping track of my leads was going to be important, and having a system to find leads was going to work. So N is like my file number. You can put it whatever you want. You can even put 1 instead of a number there or a letter there. And so every batch of leads that I bought, which I have about 50 to 75 in each folder, I would then label them in my leads, whatever I was working, N1-1. And what that stood for was go to N1 folder and go to your first lead. So it doesn't matter what leads I put in there. If I have that system, I can find it. So N66, I just scroll to my 66th folder and I scroll down to lead 29. Boom, there's Dwayne. So you can have all of your leads in Notability and be able to find them within a few seconds. I mean, 5 seconds, and you'll have any lead that you've ever purchased. Versus I know people are scrolling through batches, 20, 30, 40, 50, they're doing something to find them, but they're scrolling. And we always roll up to that one house where Miss Johnson's outside and she's like walking up like, hey, what can I do? And you're like, hold on 1 second. Let me find the lead. Hold on. So that's what I do for that. But hopefully we'll have that in there pretty soon as far as being able to just totally import them from Integrity Lead Center.
I mean, that is awesome. And it's like, it's not too convoluted. It's not too complicated, even for a simple girl like myself, So any other questions that you guys have on the app? I'm just getting a lot of great feedback of this is awesome. I'm so excited.
Seeing the downloading the iPad. Yes. So this is only available for Apple users. Just another reason why you should all buy an Apple. There's not a single partner that doesn't have that has an Android, right? So success leaves clues. But you can use your iPad. It'll just be a little smaller. I'll show you this on my iPad. It's just a tad bit smaller, but you can still use your iPad. As far as battery life, we haven't had a whole lot of folks complaining about battery, but we all know that everyone's battery is a little bit different. If your battery's kind of low, I always put it in power saver mode. I'm surprised how many people don't know. Top left-hand corner, if your battery's yellow, it's not using all the crazy data that you would normally use, so it'll stay on for way longer. But we have had one lady who her iPad's pretty old, so she's got an external charger just to help her out.
What about, sorry,
yeah.
what about Facebook leads? Can you manually input leads to like Facebook leads?
So Facebook leads as well, same thing. Because if you're buying them from like Jordan or whatnot, you know, and I don't know who you guys buy from, but they're all going to come in a CSV file.
Okay.
So you'll be able to import those in as well. And then for those of you who maybe have an appointment setter, this has been a great tool for a lot of folks on appointments, because remember, if you give them your login, they can log in, they can see all of your leads, right? So if you show them the map, like, hey, I'm working this area here, they can pull it up and they can call in the order versus like doing an appointment here. And then you're driving over here and then here. They know exactly where you're at. You're sharing the details because they're putting notes in, you're putting notes in. So it's helped a lot for folks who have appointment setters as well.
I love that. So for door knockers, check the box. For people that use appointment setter, check the box. For people that love to call their own leads, check the box. For folks that have CSV files, check the box. For folks that love to neighbor knock, check the box. Seriously, that's what I love, is that it really is designed by final expense agents for final expense agents. And it's simple. It's not too crazy to understand. It is $30 a month, correct? But
Correct. It's $30.
Yep, $30 a month. If you take away Opt and Road Warrior, it's paid for itself. You're just reallocating it into something that's going to work a little bit better. Any other questions, guys? It's 8:43. We want to respect his time. Any other questions? You can go on the App Store right now, Knock It Pro, and you can go ahead and download that bad boy. It's ready to go. Let's see.
I'm putting my phone number in the group. Feel free to message me with any questions. I am right now the customer service professional, so I'm answering everyone's questions all day long. Just keep them coming with the questions. And then lastly, so Laura, there is a referral code that you're going to want all your agents to use. It's located in your settings tab. Just have them use that. Guys, what we did, and we're about to release it because we haven't done it yet, but there is a referral code. Okay. And this works directly like how your writing number works for like Mutual of Omaha. Okay. You write business or you refer the app, they use your referral code, you get credit for it. And then anybody that they refer, you get credit for it, just like your downlines work with just how insurance is. I will tell you, we haven't released it yet, but the prize, the things that you can win are going to be pretty cool, including a trip. So just like the Mutual of Omaha trip or Foresters, you know, they're getting away with that. I'm all about experiences. I don't really care about the cash back, right? I haven't make enough money to do that. I want an experience with my wife and my other fellow agents. So we're going to be doing a carrier trip that people can qualify for as well. The only difference between our trip and maybe the carriers is that we're not going to 1099 you at the end of it. Okay. So it's 100% on us. Other than that, anyone else have any questions, or is everyone pretty good?
What about like sold apps or keeping, you know, how Opt will, you know, you can kind of keep up with everything. What about on your end?
So let me share my screen again with you real fast here.
Sorry. I always remember at the very last minute.
Okay, is it working? Oh, share screen, yes, start broadcast. Okay, so how I keep all of my folks straight is I have different labels for regularly sold folks. Okay. I have stuff where I can see if it's like a guaranteed issue with the G's, because I want to be able to go back and sell those folks if I can, right? If they're out of the waiting period. And I also have one for smokers. So at any time you can kind of see who's there. I love this too because I stop by my client's house. Like if I got a lead like right over here, I'm gonna say hi. Hey, Miss Johnson, good to see you. Hope Easter was well. Just out of curiosity, it's been about six to 12 months. Have you gotten any more life insurance since we last spoke? Or, hey, I remember you said you were wanting just a little more. Now's a great time to kind of consider that. Let's look at some options for you. So this is your book of business, guys. It's one of the things that makes business so beautiful. So work it. Use the people that you're going to do. There's also a tagging system that someone wanted that we put in here. So if you go to edit, you can see at the bottom, it says tag. So if you do like moo or whatever, it's not kind of like a hashtag. You save it, and now if you go to the search bar and type in moo or whoever, all of your moo people will show up, or anyone who's whatever will show up. So you can tag anything that you like. And then you just have a lot of different, notes that you can just tap on right there. Black car.
So give me your process real quick. And this is the last question, I swear. Give me your process. Like you do this, you close a sale, like, how we teach agents, do your activity tracker, do your book of business while you're in the home. That way, when you're done, you're not having anything to worry about. What is your process from start to finish? Like if you work it, you close it, how do you do that? Like your day to day?
Sure. Perfect. So a couple things here. Let's say, for instance, I'm at this dot right here, this lead, we close her. Well, one, I'm going to make sure I know exactly what I did there, whether it's just a regular sold item, or if it's a guaranteed issue. I don't put notes here because I put notes in my notability for it, because I have things like quadruply saved. I email myself a copy of everything as well. But I'll also, let's say, for instance, I use this a lot, actually. I set a reminder for surrender forms. I am a notorious forgetter of sending the surrender form at a certain date. I always get a call. Hey, is my money coming? Crap. Totally forget to do that. So I'll set a reminder there. The next thing that I'll do for me personally is I go and I take pictures of everything in my, I know it's going to be probably hard to see, but I have a catalog of every one of my clients. And in that catalog, I have obviously my reference number to them, but I write down, who they're with, what they got, when's their first draft, is it pending, is it approved? I screenshot all pertinent information, socials, date of birth, all the things that I could potentially need in another time. And then I have all my information there with, extra signatures. I have, everything, their beneficiary, their phone number, and then I email it to myself. Well, not anymore. I have a secretary that does that, but I email it to her and she has a whole like CIT list, which I call contracts in transit. And so she monitors if I put pending, well, she knows that she needs to go in my back office and kind of see and look for that to see what's going on. But I have tons of people that call me up and say, hey, what did I get? And this is like a quick reference. I also, in my phone, just contacts. Hopefully you guys are taking pictures with your clients, but I'm a face person, not a name person. So I always take pictures with my clients. And right when you're putting in their name, I put the first name, the last name, their reference number so I can find them. And then in company, I put Moo, $15K, $75. Because I want to know if I'm at the dinner with my family, if Miss Johnson calls and she's $150 a month, I'm answering. If it's Mr. Old Tim down the street and hits $35, he can wait a few more minutes before I call. So I have that as well. But I always take a picture of their driver's license and their picture together. This will also save you every once in a while. The longer you're in this business, you're going to get a message from like Royal Neighbors or from someone saying, hey, this person said that they never sat with you. They don't remember taking out insurance. They don't remember doing anything. And so it's happened to me 3 times. And each time it was a quick decision of, oh yeah, no problem. Because I sent them a picture of the driver's license, a picture of us together smiling, and the lead card. Kind of hard to refute that.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to have your processes, and, most of us have, our systems in place and processes, but with the app, it's good to know. This is the last one. If you can okay, I don't have my glasses, y'all. Make it sold an app. Will it mark it sold an opt too?
It will not. So opt is, if you all know, It's like made from like dial-up days, like old school AOL. Our engineers, when they looked at it, they were literally like, and this is kind of scary too, Laura, might be something we should talk about with the partners, but they're like, listen, they're like one thing away from complete crash. Their servers are not updated. They're not doing whatever, they could literally one bad thing and it could wipe out all of your data. Our data also is triple redundancy done because I've used a couple of apps. My first 6 months with Route for Me, they had a glitch and I lost all of my stuff, all of my leads, all of my points. So I want to make it a point that these are never going to be lost. They're also encrypted on front and back end, so no one has access to them. I don't even have access to them. They're completely secure and safe on that side. But yeah, you can't do anything
opt like you would. So it's like you're just using opt to transfer the leads.
Correct.
That's it. And then everything else is done in there, but you can't mark it. So you'd have to go back in manually and mark sold if you wanted to put it sold in opt, so it's not recycled.
Correct. Yep, that would be the only difference there that you'd have to do. And obviously you want, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, you just go through your folks. But
what do you see as the fix all for that in the future potential?
So Blair Ollendorf and I have been talking about a couple things. Blair is obviously a genius when it comes to tech, but it's taken him a year to work with Opt to kind of get some of their stuff put over, and it took our guys 24 hours. One agent said, hey, it'd be nice if we could just import from Opt. Okay, we looked at it and our guys got it done. The problem with Opt is that they are so old that unless they change a couple things, they probably couldn't even have us attached to it because that's how old their stuff is. So it'd probably be a conversation for Lance to kind of have with them and say, hey, we need this. That's your job is to create it, and give us the tools that we need. Also, we're looking at having it where the age automatically imports like it is on the mobile app for you guys on Opt. But again, Blair and I have been talking about a couple things. It's just, it hasn't been working very well with them. So
good to know. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you staying on for 53 minutes with us. We appreciate you. And this is recorded, so I will send this out. And you guys can have access to it. And you have his phone number. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can direct you if you want to, but direct to him. But remember, his time is valuable as well. So when you've got questions, try to have 5 or 10 questions together at one time so you don't bombard them or overwhelm them. But thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. We appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Laura, for having me. Appreciate everyone.